Thank you for coming through, Claudelle. Tell me, how big an issue is it? I would imagine employers would be sympathetic, but you are saying no.
I think I'm not saying no. So firstly, thank you for having me on the show, God.
Welcome.
We really appreciate it. I think it's an excellent platform to start talking about things such as cancer in the workplace. I don't think there's a huge rejection, but I don't think it's being commonly accepted in the workplace either. So I think it's been a gradual journey and a process, and I think it's about how each company kind of discovers what the impact of cancer is within the organizations, and obviously starts to, as they start to address these issues, they need to start coming up with solutions. And I think that's the issue. I think the issue is coming up with solutions to address the issue.
Yeah, but when you look at what has been happening in the past, this is not really an issue that companies talk about, isn't it? It's almost like it's always a personal issue where, one worker has got a problem and they go and talk to HR and HR deals with it and that's it.
Absolutely. And I think, for us, one of the key focuses has been, putting people first. It's a philosophy of our business. And we like to believe that if you put people first, then you put people's circumstances first.
Right.
And I think because of that, we've taken a journey and we've taken a stance to say, what are the things that we can start quickly implementing to start to address this? So the one thing is definitely, cancer policy in the workplace. But to answer your question, it's exactly that. It's a crisis. When a staff member gets diagnosed with cancer, oftentimes you'll find an organization doesn't know where to start because there isn't a policy in place. And I think for us, it was about how do we prevent that from happening to us? So yes, the policies are still yet to come. But it's more about, we have kind of processes in place now.
Yeah.
And we have things and solutions to deal with serious illnesses in the workplace.
Yeah.
So I think it's about getting that starting point, which is absolutely important for businesses today.
Yeah, you say it is a crisis. How big an issue is it in the workplace?
There's lots of statistics, and I was speaking to somebody just before I came to sit with you now, and we were talking about, so what are the statistics for cancer in South Africa today?
Yeah.
And I mean, you can go online, there's a few research studies that you can read, but I think, the crisis is when you have a staff member standing in front of you and is actually facing cancer today. That's the crisis, and it's really in your face, and it's happening, and it's a reality that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
So the crisis is really that it's becoming more common. It's something real, and it's something that we've got to address and face every single day now.
Yeah, and this in South Africa, of course, the context then becomes muddied a little bit. We had the health inquiry report coming out last week and showing that in general, we are paying a lot for our health. And then one of the things when you do talk about cancer that you immediately talk about is cost. So it becomes even more difficult.
Exactly, and I think as a business and as a company, as an organization, the first thing that comes to mind is should one of your employees get diagnosed with cancer, do you have the right kind of health programs in place to help them deal with it?
Yeah.
Because there's an emotional side to it as well. So
100%.
Yes, there's a financial side. So do you have the right policies in place? Do you have the right health benefits and plans? But most importantly, can you support them emotionally?
Yeah.
So yes, in terms of the health bill, I think it's still a journey, again, because of the affordability around, cancer treatments and, the types of things that are available.
Most medical aids will actually not cover the full cost, right?
Absolutely. And I mean, I can safely say that we can almost, from a position where we've had to deal with this as an organization, again, it's about the reality of it. And that is why awareness around cancer, awareness around the policies that should be in place, and awareness around the kind of emotional support that people need is absolutely imperative.
And perhaps a role for government here as well, because you can imagine this is something that government could be trying to do something about. One, making it easier for people to get the treatment they require and making it affordable as well. Maybe there must be various ways of doing so.
Absolutely. And I think, we're a global company, so we've got to adhere to global best practices as an example.
Yeah.
But from a local perspective, we need the government support. We need to, in order to implement policies in the workplace, it needs to be best practice in the country. And I think, government could obviously make that much more easier for us to implement.
Yeah.
So definitely their support is absolutely needed.
Okay, so maybe Aaron Motsoaledi is going to do something about it in his NHI, right?
Absolutely.
Claudelle, thank you. Claudelle Naidoo is Head of Insights and New Business Director at MediaCom South Africa.